Talking about some economic financial news right now. I did a search on HSBC Bank because that was trending. And as you can see here in the general web search on Google, they are reporting, for example, Huffington Post and BBC, that HSBC is refusing to let customers withdraw large sums. So this is cash transactions. Let's see what I find on Information Clearinghouse, which is a very like quasi-political alternative aggregator, which is you more aggregator, more radical than say Drudge Report. So I recommend this if you want to supplement your consumption of alternative information. Take a look here. This is by a writer, Kerry-anne, and you can see the headline there. It's pretty shocking and alarmist. It's Verge of Collapse. Now, if you think that's not possible, look at the precursor in recent history of Northern Rock. You might also want to dig a little bit deeper and see what happened in the nation of Iceland recently. So I did a little bit of more basic research into what are the top 150 banks. This is a website called Online Banking Report. JP Morgan Chase is the top one as far as deposits in billions. They're quite a bit ahead of Bank of America, number 2, which is more close with Wells Fargo and almost identical in the holdings Citigroup compared to Wells Fargo. And you go a little bit further down the list, and number 6, indeed, there it is, HSBC Holdings. Its headquarters is based in London. 161 billions in the equivalent of US dollars. That must be their activity per annum. Not sure exactly. Following on the 150 with the most deposits as of the end of 2008. Uh-oh. I'm going to have to go get something more updated. But meanwhile, let's look and see what Wikipedia has listed on HSBC. There is the logo. If you have any accounts with HSBC, obviously right now you're concerned and you want to find out what's going on. They have a long history. They have existed for a while. Now I had looked this up a few years ago, so I'm just doing another review for myself. It's Hong Kong and Shanghai Banking Corporation, so that's where the H and the S comes from. This goes all the way back to 1865. Now isn't that interesting? Just at the very end of the so-called American Civil War. Very interesting. So they had to shift from Hong Kong and move their headquarters to London. And that was because of the transition of Hong Kong back into Chinese hands, China nation, China mainland, Red China as they call it. Hong Kong was a temporary deal that was negotiated with the United Kingdom, the British. So because of this, HSBC transferred over to London. Here's a big bank that they had eaten up back in the 80s, Marine Midland Bank. If you're an old timer, you have heard of Marine Midland Bank, and then UK-based Midland Bank, I think, was somehow connected with that. But they were absorbed by HSBC. Okay? So, in recent news, you can find out that HSBC was in court because they are accused of money laundering. And even there was evidence that a Mexican drug lord was recorded, I mean, serendipitously, that saying to one of his cronies that HSBC is the entity to launder your money with. So this was put through the United States Department of Justice system. I think it was a slap on the wrist. They got away with it. And if what's going on right now with them is somewhat connected, maybe they don't want large withdrawals because they want it proven that it's not money laundering. There was another accusation that somehow that they were facilitating terrorist organizations. So, I mean, one hand washes the other. Banks, eh? FDIC here, insurance corporation, fiduciary trust, fiduciary for all the banks. Is your money being backed by anything? Was the insurance? I clicked on this to find out the current standings of all the banks, because that was the link, as you saw over here. It says click here, but I don't even see it. Bank closing, press releases, industry analysis. Is this banks data? Here, let's check it out. Statistics of depository institutions. Okay, I failed to find this, and I don't mind, because you can do more research if you want to find that out. But in closing, I want to say that there's nothing conclusive here. I'm not saying run out of the bank with your money, then that would cause a bank run. Not that I would be able to cause such a panic with a simple video, but you never know. And I'm not saying that. I'm just saying we need to dig deeper and find out what's going on, because this is not the thing you can just trust at face value. There's something definitely fishy going on. Now, did I click that? All right. We're going to the bank website itself.